Welcome to Fujifilm Sonosite Service Training. This video will discuss how to troubleshoot the DICOM connection to your archiver. After you have configured a location, the next step is to configure your DICOM destinations, such as your archiver. We already have a location and an archiver configured. In this video, we are using a Sonosite export system, but the steps are similar for any of our systems. Let's test our connection to the archiver. Go to More, System Settings, Connectivity, DICOM Setup, Config, Archive. Select your archive. First, we will ping the archiver to test our network connection. A DICOM connection is dependent upon the network connection being established. Go to the archiver setup screen and tap Ping. If you receive an OK, this tells us the network connection is good. Another network connection tool, Trace Route. This is done at the server to see if there are network connection issues, like firewall settings or network traffic. This test uses a command prompt on the server. Open a command prompt and type traceroute and the IP address of the ultrasound. This tells us how far away the ultrasound and the server are from each other on the network, and how many network devices are between them. Is the connection stable? Are there asterisks indicating dropouts? Next, we will need to test the DICOM connection. Tap the back button twice. Go back to the DICOM setup screen and tap Verify. Success means the DICOM setup for the archive is correct. Fail means something is wrong. Make certain the checkbox next to your archiver is checked. Tapping the Verify button tests the DICOM connection by sending a C echo or DICOM ping. If it does not return success, try to send a test study. Sometimes a study may still successfully archive even with a failed DICOM ping. Some servers may limit the number of concurrent connections to it, and that can temporarily cause a fail. First, clear the logs, and then send the test study. Check patient lists to see if the test study archived. After this archive attempt, look at the system and DICOM or networked logs for clues. Tap Done to return to the exam. Tap Patient and enter a test patient and tap Done. Perform the test exam and end exam so it will archive. Since we received a failed response to our Verify and the study did not archive, we need to dig deeper. We need to check our DICOM settings for the archive to make certain they match the info the administrator gave us. Have a PACS admin check the server to see if the AE title, port number, and possibly IP address have been entered on the server correctly. Many PACS systems require AE titles and sometimes IP addresses of sending modalities to be entered in their DICOM configuration. Do these settings match what is on the ultrasound? In our case, we were given a configuration settings worksheet by the administrator. We now need to check the archiver settings on our export to see if they match. We need to go to the archiver setup screen on the export. In our case, we see a problem. The server is listening on port 4000, not 4001, and the AE is missing a letter. We need to make changes on our export. After making the changes, we will need to restart the system. If we have the DICOM settings correct, our test study should archive. In our case, we have corrected the AE title and port number of the archiver on the export, so the image is archived successfully. If problems are still occurring, check the logs on the system again. Go to the system settings screen and look at the logs. Ours look correct. Entries in these logs can provide clues as to why connectivity is failing. If there are entries in the logs and it isn't obvious what is happening, the next place to look is the logs on the archiver side. These logs may have more information than the system logs show. If you still cannot resolve the issue, ask the IT staff to perform a packet capture and filter by DICOM packets. We will cover packet captures in another video. If assistance with ordering parts or isolating repairs is needed, please contact Fujifilm Sonosite Technical Support.